Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here with another deck profile. This one has been coming a long time, and when I say a long time, it's something that I've wanted to build for ages. I mean, Gravekeepers have obviously been around a long time, or you might say for at least a millennia. But the original cards came out pretty much the first set. Was it Pharaoh's Servant? I think they first came out in. And I've always liked them, but I've never actually gone to the trouble of collecting the cards and putting them all together. So they've seen a little bit of support over the years. So I've picked up the stuffs from Soul Fusion, as you can see from Gravekeeper's Supernaturalist there, which have kind of enhanced the deck a little bit, made it a slightly different way of playing. And it's taken me a while to get some of these Ultimate Rares together as well, because I really wanted to get the Ultimate Rares original print, of which this is one of them. So this is Gravekeeper's Commandant. Now, I'll get to that in a minute when I get to him in the main profile. But like I say, lover or hater of this deck, you've got to appreciate the age of it. You know, it being one of the original archetypes, I would definitely say that. Not the first archetypes, but it's certainly one of the sort of, you know, from the mainstream sort of early days, and obviously features in the anime as well. So, you know, you can't really argue with it all, but it's just a great looking thing, and it always has been. And now I've finally gone and put it together, and this is the deck profile for you. So, like I say, it's not going to be the most competitive deck in the world, but I don't think Gravekeepers has been for probably 20 years. Probably not as much as that, but it's certainly been a while. And I still don't think it's going to compete in any sort of, you know, tournament event. However, you know, it's still the nostalgia of playing, of course. So this is the first card I want to show you today. This is Gravekeeper's Spiritualist. And it's really sort of added an extra layer to the deck, I suppose. So this is during your main phase. If Necro Valley is on the field, you can fusion summon one spellcast a fusion monster from your extra deck using this card you control and any other monster from your hand or field as fusion material, and you can only use the effect of Gravekeeper's Spiritualist once per turn. So that is your main into, of course, Supernaturalist, I should say. So that's Gravekeeper's Spiritualist. And the only other three on the deck at the moment is Gravekeeper's Spy. Now these have taken some getting hold of as well, but these are the secret rares from Joey's World, you know, the set that's not been reprinted for quite some time. Great looking card, of course. Got the foil bleed on these three as well, which is really nice. Took a while to get hold of them, but managed to get hold of them. And it does nothing spectacular apart, you know, it's a flip effect, which you know, we don't see for a long time. But special summon one Gravekeeper's monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck, but no other restrictions other than that. So it's a good little starter for 10. Now, ordinarily, this card, as I mentioned before, would be, I say, a 3 of, but I cannot find another Ultimate Rare in good nick. So this is the unlimited version, but I'm not really too fussed about it being first edition. It's just that they look absolutely brilliant as a Ultimate Rare. You can just see the shine on it there, and they're really difficult to get hold of in really nice condition. So I've got 2 of them. I went with 2 and then just added a terraforming for now. And if I do ever pick up a third copy, then I'll remove the third copy, put the third copy in of Commandment. But you can discard this card to the graveyard to add 1 Necro Valley from your deck to hand. A very, very simple effect, of course. Next to of is another one of the newer ones, which is Gravekeeper's Headman. So if this card is summoned, you can target 1 level 4 Gravekeeper's monster in your graveyard, special summon it in attack position or face down defense position, and you can only use the effect of Gravekeeper's Headman once per turn. And this effect is unaffected by Necro Valley, of course. So nice easy effect. And of course, Headman and Spiritualist and Commandment are all searchable via Spy. So so far so good on those. The next two of I should say is Gravekeeper's Recruiter, which again I've had to go to America to get these in the ultra rare version. But when this card you control is sent to your graveyard, you can add one Gravekeeper's monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to hand. Again, a very, very simple effect, and I suppose this is why I like it. Nice and simple for simple minds like me. Now the next four are all one-offs, so I'll just put them all out here. So you've got Gravekeeper Shaman, Oracle, Nobleman and Heretic. These are the ones I've chosen to go for. They can all be done summoned by Spy for a start, so that's always a nice little touch. They can all go on there, can't they? Yeah, they can. So you've got Shaman. This card gains 200 defense for each Gravekeeper monster in your graveyard. And you can negate all monster effects that activate in the graveyard except Gravekeeper's monsters. And while Necro Valley is on the field, your opponent cannot activate field spells. Also, field spells cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it's locking out your graveyard, of course, but also meaning that a bit of protection for your field spells, of course. Oracle is you contribute 3 monsters or 1 Gravekeeper's monster to tribute summon but not set this card. When this card is tribute summoned, you can activate any of these effects and resolve in sequence up to the number of Gravekeeper's monsters tributed for its summon. So this card gains attack equal to the combined levels of all monsters tributed for its tribute summon it had on the field times 100. You can destroy all set monsters your opponent controls, and all monsters your opponent currently controls lose 2000 attack and defense. Just a nice little way of perhaps getting over something a bit troublesome. Gravekeeper's Nobleman. So when this card you control is destroyed by battle or by opponent's attacking monster and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Gravekeeper's monster from your deck in face down defense position, except Gravekeeper's Nobleman. And Gravekeeper's Heretic is this card on the field is unaffected by all other card effects, as long as Necro Valley is also on the field. So I just like the artwork on that one, actually, to be honest with you. I think it's a great looking card, as are all of these. I really like the look of them all. But those are my one-offs, and indeed the end of the monster lineup. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 13 monsters only. But you really don't need any more than that. This is, at the end of the day, a spellcaster deck, so you'd expect to see a certain number of spells. But of course, you would expect to see 3 of this first of all. Now this took some finding, I can tell you, but I managed to find one person in the end with all 3 for me. All the ultimate rare versions of Necro Valley from an Astral Pack, which is when they were first launched, but absolutely stunning looking card. I mean, most people will be familiar with Necro Valley, so I won't bother reading out, but obviously it's been errated anyway, so if you want the latest errata on it, just head to Neuron, because it'll tell you exactly how Necro Valley works. I can tell you now that these are not quite the same. They've changed over the years. It's just the wording, depending on how the game's changed. But if you need if you're ever in an argument situation with an opponent or something, you just need to check the latest text. Okay, next 3 off is Necro Valley Throne. So activate one of these effects. I can add 1 Gravekeeper's monster from your deck to your hand, full stop, no restrictions. And immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Gravekeeper's monster. You can only activate Necro Valley Throne once per turn. So you can either add 1 or get the extra normal summon, which is really, really nice, and obviously at 3. I mentioned in my, I think it was Witchcrafter deck, that I've also run this one, which is Spellbound. I think it's quite suitable for the deck, just gives a little bit of protection against some extra, potential extra deck summoning. But all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be distributed or used as material for a fusion, synchro, XYZ or link summon until the end of the turn. Quick play spell, of course, just that little bit of extra interruption. I've also gone for 2 Gravekeeper's Inscription, which obviously does similar to Necro Valley anyway, but I can't run a Gravekeeper's deck without running this secret rare in there as well. Just at the start of the main phase, apply one of the following effects until the end of the opponent's turn. So neither player can activate card effects in the graveyard, neither player can banish cards from the graveyard, and neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. So it's just like I say, a little bit of extra protection, and again, it's just a really awesome looking card and suits the archetype, of course. Got quite a few 2-ofs actually, so we'll just keep going. So we've got 2 Hidden Temples of Necro Valley. Just get rid of the hair on there. That's still in there, but activate only if both Gravekeeper. Sorry, start again. Activate only if a Gravekeeper's monster and Necro Valley are on the field, but neither player can special summon monsters except Gravekeeper monsters. If either a Gravekeeper monster or Necro Valley is not on the field, destroy this card, which is fair enough. But obviously, locking out a special summoning in this game is huge. So if you get that off, then that's a good win. And also, this one is equally as, or can be equally as devastating. So this is Royal Tribute. So if you control Necro Valley, both players discard any monsters in their hands, full stop. So again, it can be equally as potent, certainly early in the game. We've also chosen to run 2 Pot of Prosperity on this one. Switch these out actually with the 25th anniversary rare out of my Exorcist deck actually. So these have gone from my Exorcist deck. My Exorcist deck now has the quarter century ones. But yeah, Pot of Prosperity, obviously fairly simple. We know what those do. And then again, just 4 one-offs. So we've got Magicalized Fusion, 1 Gold Sarcophagus, 1 Gravekeeper Steel, and 1, like I mentioned before, Terraforming. Just push these up a little bit. There we go. You can see those now. Terraforming, as I mentioned before, is the substitute for the other commandment. Gravekeeper Steel, target 2 Gravekeeper monsters in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. This effect cannot be negated by the effects of Necro Valley, ideal. Gold Sarcophagus just fits the theme, you know, bung an extra Necro Valley in there or whatever it is you need. But I just thought I can't run the deck without having the Gold Sarcophagus in there. And also Magicalized Fusion. Fusion summon 1 spellcaster fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. Obviously, we are also running the additional Quintet Magician. Again, why wouldn't you? Okay, some traps then. So that's it for spells. This might be a bit of a longer video, I'm afraid, guys, but we'll rattle through the extra deck because there's not too much to talk about in there. But I'm running 3 Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley. Really nice looking card, this one again. Again, I managed to pick these up off one seller. Got the little bleed on that one again. But yeah, when a spell card, trap card, or monster effect is activated while both a Gravekeeper's monster and Necro Valley are on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And you can only activate 1 of these per turn. But yeah, counter trap, obviously depending on making sure you've got a monster and Necro Valley on the field, but hopefully we've got enough protection for both. And then just 2 one-offs on the traps. So you've got Necro Valley Temple, while a Gravekeeper's monster and Necro Valley are both on the field, monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. And then once per turn during your main phase, if you control no card in your field zone, you can activate 1 Necro Valley directly from your hand or graveyard. If this card is in your possession, is destroyed by an opponent's effect and sent to the graveyard, you can set 1 Necro Valley spell trap directly from your deck. except Necro Valley Temple. And then also, just again, part of the theme is Judgment of Anubis. So discard 1 card from your hand to negate the activation and effect of a spell card controlled by your opponent that includes the effect of destroying spell and or trap cards on the field and destroy it. Then you can destroy 1 face-up monster to your opponent's side of the field and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. So again, just a little bit of protection for a Necro Valley and or whatever I might be running at the time. Guys, that's it for main deck. On to extra deck. Like I say, we'll just rattle through this briefly. But just the 4 fusions. So we're running 3 of the Supernaturalist, and of course 1 Quintet Magician. Should be fairly familiar with Quintet Magician, as I also run this in my Witchcrafter deck. Hopefully you've seen the profile. But Supernaturalist obviously requires 2 Gravekeeper monsters. So it gains attack and defense equal to the combined original levels of the materials used for its fusion summon times 100. While Necro Valley is on the field, this card and any card in your field zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can activate this effect during the end phase of the turn. Add 1 Gravekeeper monster or 1 Necro Valley card from your deck to your hand. Guys, this card basically does everything, so you know, why wouldn't run it at 3? Just, you know, in case your opponent has actually managed to get rid of it. I don't know, but obviously it's offering protection for itself and the Necro Valley, and it also searches a Necro Valley card. You can't ask for more than that, really. Okay, so a few links. So we'll try and squeeze all these on. So I've got Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden, which is my sort of go-to at the moment. Spellcaster, of course, link 1. Link 2s, we've got Nightmare Phoenix, of course, my go-to link 2, and also on this occasion the Nightmare Cerberus. We're also running on this one is the Dark Chimer Gloomy. Obviously majority of it is dark anyway. And last for the link 2s are IP Masquerena. Because we're also running a Nightmare Unicorn onto link 3s, 1 Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians, and finally Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. I just thought that fitted the theme again, you know, with the sort of underworld and, you know, the Egyptian sort of thing. I don't know, it's not very Egyptian, but you get my point. But yeah, just, you know, regular spellcasters in the deck, Dark Charmers, you know, using that. IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, fine. Artemis, we've explained. These are the go-tos. Fairly simple, don't need to spend too much time on it. And then also just 3 XYZ cards as well, just to, because obviously majority of them are indeed level 4 monsters. I just thought, why not? Staple, Tornado, Dragon for any rank 4 based deck. Down a Magician, Spellcaster monster, why wouldn't you? And Heartland Draco, obviously we intend to keep Necro Valley on the field as much as possible, and that means we can utilise its effect. And it's quite pretty, which is also part of the reason why I'm running it. Guys, that's it for the end, the deck profile. Really appreciate your time today. Apologies if it's gone on, I banged on a little bit about it. It is absolutely one of my favourites now, and I really enjoy playing it. It's really good fun. The opponent doesn't like it so much, I have to stress about that, because obviously you're locking the game a little bit in our favour. But ultimately that is how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played at the moment, and that's certainly how Gravekeepers is played. As usual, please do keep your comments coming. Really appreciate it. I appreciate this is the first video I've done for a week or 2 now. So, you know, there'll be certainly more coming. I think I'm going to do another one on Monday. I just wanted to get this one out. The last Gravekeeper spy arrived in the post, and I couldn't wait to put it on YouTube for you. Keep the comments coming, like I say. Keep subscribing. I think we're up to 271 now, getting very close to sort of the 300 mark, which is great. Really appreciate it, all your support. Guys, once again, we'll see you on the next profile.